Welcome to the October webinar in the email pileup, automate email archiving and management. My name is Robin Horner, and I'd like to host this DocuWare webinar today. And the GoToWebinar panel is a case study you can download on National Crop Insurance Services, an international not-for-profit organization representing crop insurance companies, on how they use document management to manage email and other important documents. Before we get started, I'm going to take a quick poll to find out how you are handling email management now. So I'll give you a minute to select your choice of how you're handling email management currently. Okay, I want to thank you very much for taking the time for this poll. We'll be doing another one later on, but I'll share the results of this one with you. I can see from the poll that the majority of you are storing email in email folders manually. And then the next one is you don't have an official system in place, and printing emails in paper system. So as we go in through this PowerPoint and then the live presentation, we're going to show you how DocuWare can help you eliminate the problems of email management. So the first thing we're going to start off is with today's agenda, the email pileup problem, digital workflow for humans, becoming an agile leader, and how DocuWare can help. Then we're going to go into a live product presentation on DocuWare's Connect to Outlook. Then we're going to have a wrap-up and open question and answer. Now, for the question and answer session, due to the volume of people on the call, I have everybody muted, so you're going to have to type the questions into the GoToWebinar question box. Also, don't forget to, while we're going through this webinar, don't forget to download the case study. So, email overload is a real problem. The market research firm Redicia found that the average worker sends or receives approximately 126 emails per day. Additionally, the McKinsey Global Institution cites that the average employee spends 13 hours a week reading and responding to email. That's 650 hours a year spent on reactive, low-value work. But the real pain is not necessarily the large amounts of email itself. The real pain is the time wasted on manual searching and clicking through the hundreds, even thousands of emails we have in our account just to find that one important email attachment. We've spent years and untold amounts of money digitizing information. How do we take advantage of that? How do we get past the manual, labor-intensive shuffle? How do we achieve efficient email management once and for all? Well, the answer is simple. Email management automation. A document management solution is the key software that automates email storage, access, archiving, and search, enabling important emails and documents to be accessible across an entire organization. Tedious processes become effortless workflow, time lost becomes time invested, old costs become new capital. But how do you get there? And what are the benefits achieved along the journey? Let's take a step back and examine the journey to become a digital business leader from manual laggard to agile leader. The manual laggards are still using paper, but as they become more progressive, They realize the hard cost savings of digitized documents. They then see the advantages of managing all documents, including email, with intelligent indexing and searching, which improves productivity and customer service. And that being paperless is a viable model. With configurable workflow, time efficiency, insight to improve, an Agile leader experiences processes automation and touchless workflow and will achieve an optimal knowledge working ratio. Bottom line dollars are reinvested in top line growth and happier staff. When you start as a manual laggard, you move through the digital progressive to become an Agile leader. This is the goal of any modern business. Heck, even inside DocuWare, we're getting better at this all the time. So what's the secret? Well, I can tell you in our experience, it is definitely not a stack of complex technology. It's not a 3-year roadmap. It's not even a heap of a new budget. Becoming a digital-first Agile leader simply means putting the users first. We found that the smartest digital processes meet full potential when they embrace 6 key qualities. Fast for maximum time saving, effortless to minimize distractions, secure so people don't worry about breaks or leaks, reliable so it can be trusted in times of high pressure, repeatable for consistent value, flexible so it can be further optimized. Combine that with always-on cloud access and full mobile complement, and you can move forward on your journey to become an Agile leader. With that in mind, organizations are still falling short of a digital-first perspective. According to a study done on email management by AIM and Information Management Association, only 10% of the organizations surveyed have completed an enterprise-wide email management initiative. With the issue shown here, the need for enterprise email management is great. As stated earlier, a document management solution is the key software to overcome these issues. But don't take my word for it. Here's what National Crop Insurance Services achieved when they decided to manage email with a document management solution. We love having our documents in their native formats stored in one location. Peace of mind and ease of retrieval have been the biggest benefits we've received from DocuWare. This is from Jim Christ, Chief Financial and Operations Officer, National Crop Insurance Services. Important email can be archived in DocuWare in its native format and easily searched. All other messages are stored in for 2 years and then deleted. By implementing this policy, the organization was able to free up needed room on its email server and guarantee that vital content was not lost. So how does DocuWare help you become an Agile leader? Seamless integration with your third-party software programs, configurable workflows to drive results, mobile access for remote staff, supports business processes without complexity, easy to use, allowing greater productivity and accuracy. Today we're going to show you just a glimpse of the many uses for DocuWare. Because DocuWare integrates with Outlook and other IMAP and Microsoft Exchange email servers, you can still work directly within your familiar environment. You'll be able to store and index email in DocuWare directly from Outlook, bring up all the emails received from one company with a click of the mouse, continue customer service with all relevant information and email even when the employee responsible is absent, automate the workflows, processing various attachments and document types. Now I'll show you an introductory demo of DocuWare's Connect to Outlook solution. So let me get started here for the product presentation. What you're seeing on your screen right now is the DocuWare interface. The DocuWare interface is web-based. It has several different components. Over here on the right-hand side, we have what we refer to as a document tray, the same thing as the plastic tray on your desk. You can scan files into the tray using a desktop scanner, a multifunction device. You can click on our import button up here, or you can simply open a folder on your computer and drag files in. Once the files are in your tray, you have the ability to double-click on it and open it up in the viewer. Once it's open in the viewer, you can go through the different pages. You can print, fax, email the document. You can put notes on the document. You can even do redactions. So if you want to redact something, you can simply redact some information out. You have the ability to change the view. You can rotate the document, place stamps on it to do different functions. Now, let's go ahead and close this down. We're not going to save those changes. Let's take these documents. Let's say that we want to store all of these documents in our electronic file cabinet. In the electronic file cabinet, we have the ability to store these documents, but we don't want to store each document individually. We want to store it as one master document. So we simply select the files in the order that we want and clip them together. Now we have one document that we can store. To store this in our filing cabinet, we use the little store button right here. We select the file cabinet we want to store them in. Now, DocuWare has numerous ways of automating the indexing, as you'll see when we get into using Outlook, how we can automate the indexing using the tools and the information available from Outlook. But if you have to do a manual indexing, you simply highlight the information and DocuWare will put it into the field that you have active. So here we go, contact. We also have the ability to use a select list. So let's select that information. Now for a date, of course we can take the date off the document. We can also use our X key on our keyboard to put the current date in, use our plus key to go forward, or use our minus key to go back. And then of course we have the standard calendar picker where we can choose the month, day, and year. So we'll just go ahead and take the information off the document that we want. There we go, we have our date. Now, we have all of the index information that we require for this document. As you can see, there are a lot of fields here. DocuWare gives you the ability to have as many fields as you want for your file cabinet. They can be named anything you want. This is all configured. But you can have different dialogues, store dialogues, that give you the ability to only show you the fields pertinent to the document that you're storing. So you're not confused with other fields. So when you're ready to store, you simply click on Store. Now, if we want to go back and find that document, we simply click on our Search dialog, and we start typing. Flying Tom, Germany is the name of the company. The document type was a letter N. The date was today. And we'll click on Search. And there's our document. Now we can just simply double click on it and open it up in our viewer. Very easily we found that document. We can go through the different files that we've attached. So this one is a Word document. The next one is a PDF, a text file, an Excel file, and finally a JPEG. So it doesn't matter what type of file you want to store in DocuWare. DocuWare can store just about any type of file that can be generated on a computer. So let's go ahead and close this down, and we're going to go into our email program. So here we're using standard Microsoft Outlook. I happen to be using Microsoft Outlook 2016. As you can see, DocuWare integrates very closely. We have a DocuWare tab, which gives you the ability to select your different configurations. So let's go ahead and log in. And now we have our different configurations available for storing documents and also for retrieving documents. So let's go through this and store a couple of emails. So it's very easy to store an email with DocuWare. You can use the buttons up here, or you can simply right mouse click and click on Store in DocuWare. Now we have a couple of different choices. We can copy the mail, we can move the attachment, and we can move the email. We're going to move the email. What that does is it opens up the DocuWare Store dialog because we have it configured so that we can add additional index information to this. So we're simply going to click on the Open Email link in the DocuWare interface. And we're going to select the company name and paste it in there. And we're going to do the same thing with the contact. We'll just do a Control-C, Control-V, and it's pasted in there. So now we have all of the index information that we require to store this email. So we'll go ahead and store it. We receive confirmation that the email is stored. Now we have another email from the same person. Well, we want to see all of the previous emails that we've stored. So we simply go down here and right mouse click, quick search, same sender. Integrated right into Outlook, DocuWare will give you a list of all the emails stored in the system from this sender. And it uses the email address as the lookup. So here is the previous email. Now we can go ahead and store the new email. Let's do that. We're going to use the same option, Move Attachment. Now this time, the company name and contact are already filled in. Because what DocuWare is able to do is a lookup on any previous emails based upon any of the fields. We happen to be using the email address field. And when we find a matching document, we'll populate the fields that we designate. So here we have the company name and contact populated from the previous email. So we'll go ahead and store that. Now, another option, let's say we receive invoices from our vendors via email. They come into a specific email box. Well, we can simply take that and drag it to a folder. And that is going to take the attachment from that email and put it into a document tray, where you'll see a gray bar moving up and down in the upper left corner of the document. That is our intelligent indexing. The intelligent indexing is automatically reading the index information based upon the way it was trained, and it's going to extract that index information so that we can store that document in our filing cabinet, completely indexed, and it will enter a workflow as an accounts payable workflow. So let's go ahead and refresh this, see if it's done yet. Not quite done. We'll give it another second here to finish up. There it goes. Okay, as you can see, this bar has turned green. That means that DocuWare has seen that invoice before and is 100% confident in the index. So we're going to go ahead and store it. You can see we've filled in all of the index information. Everything is complete. We just go ahead and store that document. And it will eventually enter a workflow for invoice processing. Now, let's go back to our Outlook. Let's say we create a folder and we want to connect that to DocuWare. So let's go ahead and create a folder, create new folder, and we'll call it DocuWare email. So now we have a DocuWare email. We simply go ahead and right mouse click on it and watch with DocuWare. Opens up our configuration. Gives us the ability, provided we have the rights to do this type of administration work. Goes in, we say, okay, we want to import the email in the attachment. We want to save it in the email format, and we're going to delete it from Outlook. And we'll go to our store target. We'll select our filing cabinet, and then we'll go to our indexing. How do we want to index this document? Well, the first thing we're going to do is use a fixed value for the document type. So we call it email. Next thing we're going to do is go down to our date, and we're going to pull that from the email properties, the properties of the email. We'll select the receive date and time. Then we're going to go down to our, scroll down here to, let's change our file cabinet, sorry. Go to a different one here, so let's go back to our document type. Select fixed value, email, document date, email properties, receive date. Then we'll go down here to our email address, select email properties, and that is going to be the sender's email address. And for the subject, we'll put in the email property of the subject. So anything else we need to do? That should do it. We'll go ahead and say, make sure everybody has rights to use it. We can give ourselves rights. We can just be administrator. And then we can also add additional users if we want. So let's go ahead and add this person right here. We'll say he's going to be a user. We'll save that. Oops, we got to give it a different name. And we'll save it. Now, all we have to do to activate that so that we can use it is go back into Outlook and refresh our configuration. Now, if we take a new email from our inbox and drag it down to that folder, you'll see that we now have, where's our folder? DocuWare store email. It's going to be stored in DocuWare. So that email is now stored in DocuWare, completely ready to go. If we want to go back and find that, we can say, go ahead and do a search on anything stored today, because I have a lot of them in here. And I'll click on search, and there is the email I just stored. I didn't fill in the company. All I have is the document type, the date, and the email address of the sender and the subject. So I can do a search on any subject that I want. So if I want to find that document, let's do a search on, change our search, and our subject is your offer. Click on search, and there's the document. Now I can do a full text search on that as well. So let's just pull a word off this. Let's say we want to search for the word, let's see, Thunderbird. Let's use Thomas Bright as the name here. I want to search for anything from Thomas Bright. So I just go down here to full text, put my quotes, in quotes, search. There's my emails from Thomas Bright. When I open it up, DocuWare automatically highlights the name that I searched for within the document, and there's the name. So very easily I can find any document, whether it's based on the index information or by a full text. So I can find anything I want very easily. And anybody else can too, not just the person that stored the email. Now, let's go over to our production manager. Let's store one more email here. Here's an email that has a drawing in it that the customer is wanting a proposal. Well, this guy is going to need some assistance with this because he's just in sales. He needs technical support. So he's going to store that email in DocuWare. He's going to move the attachment to get the attachment out of his Outlook. And he's going to say, okay, everything's stored. And we're just going to add the project number. So we'll store that. That email is now stored in DocuWare. So now if we go over to the production manager who is working on this proposal for him, he's going to say, instead of having to say, hey, Mr. Sanders, can you send me the email that you got from Thomas Rain about that proposal? He doesn't have to do that anymore. He simply goes in here and does a search and says, okay, I know the company was Flying Tom, and I know that the document type was a mail-in, and I know the subject was a inquiry. Click on OK. There's the document. He can either open it up in the viewer, or if he wants to respond to it, he can right mouse click and click on edit, and it will open it up in Microsoft Outlook where he can go ahead and reply, forward, whatever he wants, because it's actually Outlook file. So he no longer has to keep that in his Outlook or go to somebody else to say, can you send me that? He can find it, and then he can do whatever he wants. Either look at it simply as a document or look at it as an email and work with it as an email. So now what I'd like to do, let me just switch back over to our other user real quick here. Now, he also has a complete list of emails that he has stored. So if he goes into DocuWare, he has a list here of all the emails that he's stored. So he can easily see everything that he has stored. And you can set this up so it only shows stuff for the last month, specific people, whatever he wants. But this is all the emails that he's stored in the system, so he can go through and look at them very easily. Now, what I want to do is take another quick poll to find out what interests you most about DocuWare's email management features. And I'll give you a minute to select that, and then we'll continue on with our PowerPoint. Okay. I can see that most of you are interested in the DocuWare features of accessing archived email instantly, followed by work and familiar email environment, fast storing and indexing, and central information pool. So let's just recap what we've covered today. DocuWare will improve business processes by making them transparent to your users. It'll increase employee efficiency and easily integrate with your third-party software with the benefits of proactively managing email with faster accessibility to authorized employees, centralizing information, digitizing key workflows to eliminate bottlenecks in business processes. Now, we have found that even within one company or organization, the field of application is very broad. It often starts out in the accounts department, in sales, or in human resources. But it also has many uses in the more technical areas of a business. Once DocuWare has been introduced into one department, it soon spreads to other departments until the whole company is using it. This is just an overview of how other companies are using DocuWare document management. And you can see that there is no specific department. DocuWare can be used in all departments, especially when it comes to email, because everybody has email. And here are some of the companies using DocuWare. As you can see, they are in all different industries and different sizes. So whether you're a small business or a huge international corporation, DocuWare can be used by any size company. DocuWare is proud of the over 16,000 companies using our product to help them become an Agile leader. Being available in 16 languages, DocuWare is extremely user-friendly for any company in the more than 70 countries where it is used. Now, I'm going to give you a minute to type in any questions that you have into the GoToWebinar question box, and then I'll answer them. And don't forget to download our case study on National Crop Insurance Services on how they use document management to manage emails and other important documents. And if there's no questions, please feel free, if any questions come to mind later, to Email us at contact.us@docuware.com, or you can contact your authorized DocuWare dealer. Okay. Thank you, and have a wonderful afternoon, and thank you for attending the webinar.